Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Duwale Kenny. I'm a Chinese trained phytotherapist. We deal on herbs and natural medicine. Today, we shall be treating infections. I've had series of calls, people talking about infection. They only talk about gonorrhea and other things. We all know gonorrhea is a very, let's say, bad infection too. But there are other sexual transmitted diseases that people don't really talk about, like chlamydia, STI, sexually transmitted infection, like the STD, sexually transmitted diseases. Uh, Even in that case, there are several women suffering from endometriosis, which makes them infertile, while others will be complaining. I've done series of tests, series of things, and yet baby are not coming. So when you have endometriosis, there is no way of having any chances of conception. Because endometriosis is a stage whereby you having a sexual intercourse with your husband and the sperm coming down rather than going in or meeting the sperm. So that's another factor that can cause infertility. So we have a lot to discuss here today. We have series symptoms of infections. Like it all depends on the kind of infection you're suffering from. For instance, somebody suffering from Staphylococcus aureus, we all know is a bacterial infection. Sometimes you might have some a kind of rashes on your body, like body scratching you after taking bath. Some people have severe headache, while others have chronic migraine. Yes, even due to when they're suffering from staphylococcus. Normal like gonorrhea and others. There are people that suffer from urinary tract symptoms. Sometimes the urine coming out like pus, sometimes coming like red blood, sometimes most often like cases of gonorrhea and other fewer little infections, they normally come through urinary system. So it all depends on the kind of infection you're suffering from. So so is also the case of women. A woman suffering from yeast infection, candidiasis, or vaginitis all can start feeling some scratches from the vagina. So it all depends on the kind of infection you are suffering from. Yes, we all know infection is infection, but okay, we take it this way. Someone suffering from STD, sexually transmitted diseases, we know this is sexually transmitted type of infection, quite different from someone suffering from bacterial infection like staphylococcus. But in the case of treatment, in the medical world, mostly we that treat with natural herb, we have different way of attending to patients in all these aspects. For instance, there's a plant we call Cider acuta in Latin language. Okay, Yoruba people call it Ewe Oshepotu. It's so easy for us to use such plants to treat gonorrhea and other infections compared to someone suffering from staphylococcus, where we'll be using uh, plants like Phyllanthus amarus, the stonebreaker, and others. So we have a series of plants that treat different kind of infections. A lot. Infection does have a lot of effect on female reproductive organ. For instance, a woman suffering from adenomyosis or a woman suffering from endometriosis, their chances of conception will be very, very slim. Yeah. Okay, we now go from there. Let's consider a woman suffering from yeast infection. Every infection can stop a woman from getting pregnant. That's one. Chlamydia can make a woman become infertile. Almost every infection does affect women greatly, if not well treated. But aside from infection, I will just chip in this. Many women only complain about infection, but we should also talk about different uh, problems affecting infertility in women. Here we can talk about menorrhea. Amenorrhea, for instance, there I spoke about endometriosis the last time. Endometriosis is a case whereby a woman is having, let's say, after sexual intercourse with the husband, and the sperm coming down from the vagina. That's another case caused by infection. Secondly, when we talk about the same amenorrhea, a case of a woman who has had series of abortion or have used a lot of contraceptives when she doesn't really prepare to have a baby. So these are other things that affect infertility in women, not just infection. So not just infection. So a lot can be we can talk about, and others are diet. There are women who doesn't even know how to diet, how to maintain their body system. So that too have an effect on women. When we talk about diet, exercises is very important for them. So we can also talk about a lot. The age factor also has a great effect on women's fertility chances. Yeah, you can compare a girl of 16 to 25 and a woman of 30 to 45. The chances is also slim, about 40-35% difference. So in these cases, infection also have a great part to play in infertility. That's all I can say. Okay. Like we know, hormonal system is very, very important in fertility, whereby the woman has estrogen, the man testosterone. Infection can also play a vital role in killing the sperm of a man. Not just beer, alcohol, unbalanced diet, and others. A lot can even cause infertility in men. Imagine a man suffering from infection for long. That can also kill their sperm. It can also cause oligospermia or azazospermia. Yes, infection does have great part to play in men too. We have series of herbs treating infections. Like I said earlier, uh, we use white lettuce for treating different kind of infection. White lettuce is a very powerful plant that our forefathers have been using for ages in treating series of infection and diseases. We have cedar acuta, we have a phyllanthus, we have even Azadirachta indica can also treat infection. We have plant called Ficus aspirata. We have plant called Ficus aspirata that also treats a lot of infection. Even sodom apple can also treat infection. So a lot can be used in treating infection. So for more details and information, you can contact Dr. Kenny for more. Because all many plants are very toxic, and you need more guidance in using them. So that's all I can tell people. Okay. The good news is this. I already have a very powerful herbal powder produced by me and other herbal practitioners from China, Rwanda, and other places that treat that not just treat infection but flushes infection from the bloodstream. We have the powder. You can only mix it with pap or custard. And I tell you, this is a very powerful infection flusher. You will give testimony after using it. Trust.